Well, welcome to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. I'm Seth Morkirky.
I'm Susanna Moberg.
And we have a guest who has been on fairly frequently, has already been on this show again, but we want to have you on one more time before the season closes. So go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do here at DSU.
Thanks for having me. Kristen Fleury, head softball coach here.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking the first question.
Okay, I'll ask the first question. I said you, but tell us what's been happening since we last had you on. I think we had you on right before spring break, right before the Arizona trip, or right after, one of the two. So go ahead and tell us all that's happened in the past couple of months.
Well, a lot has happened. Obviously, we played our spring season down in Arizona. We had a great first half of the spring break trip. We had some games rained out, and so we sat around Tucson, Arizona for a couple days and watched it rain. We got out and did some different things. Do we fault that from our momentum on the second half of our trip? I don't know. Second half of our trip wasn't as successful as our first half, but we were able to get a lot of games in a short amount of time, and that's obviously why we go down there to play games. Like I said, unfortunately, we had some games rained out, but overall, it was a good trip. It really was. We were able to see some things that we knew we had, things we didn't think we had that we do have, things like that. But we went into then our conference season right away. We had to travel down to Waldorf, which is a long trip. We were able to take 3 out of 4 from them. And that was huge for us on the road just to start our season in conference, taking 3 out of 4 from them. They're a good team. They're scrappy. They hit the ball. They hit it hard. They hit it far. We had an exciting comeback. We were down 6 or 7 runs in the top of the 7th inning, and we came back and ended up going ahead and winning the game. So that was exciting to see that we could come back in that situation, and then we had a stretch there where, we played top rank Valley City on the road. In a little different circumstances on a football field. Backstops aren't the same. The turf's different. Home run fences are different. All those different things that come into play when you're not playing on a true softball field. And making no excuses, but they are a top ranked team. It was a solid real feel of 24 degrees. So it was cold. And did we compete? Some games we did, other games we didn't. It was a tough series for us. It wasn't a very good series of showing the type of team we are. And then we had to come back and we hosted Bellevue. Actually, before that, we had Viterbo at home, so we were excited to be at home. The one exciting thing for our season, we actually did have 14 home games in a row. So we can't be disappointed about that. We kind of got used to sleeping in our own beds, playing at our own field, stuff like that. And during those 14 games, the weather actually was pretty decent. A couple windy days, but you're going to get that in the state of North Dakota. But we went 2-2 against Viterbo. Would have liked to take 1 or 2 more from them. Then we hosted Bellevue, another top-ranked team in our conference, and we were able to take the last game. And it's one of those things this season. We just haven't really got some momentum to reach that peak. We've had a lot of individual successes, a lot of good individual games, but as a whole, as a team in the game of softball, it's tough to have just individual performances and be able to come out with a win. So, after the first 3 series of conference, I think we were a little down. If you looked at our record, but we did play 2 of the top teams, and we weren't very successful against them. But we had 10 conference games left, and I told myself, if we went 8-2 in those 10 conference games, I'd be happy. What'd we do? We went 8-2. We needed 1 more game, to move us into the 3rd spot for the conference seeding. Depending on the side of the bracket. But our last series we played up at Mayville, and it was a great series. We lost by 1 run the first day, and then we lost by 1 run in 9 innings the second day. So it could have went either way, but it was just a great series. Both teams' pitchers, pitched unbelievable. Held the batters off balance, didn't give up a lot of runs. It was just a well-played series. So, so now we're moving to the conference season, or conference tournament. Everybody starts with a 0-0 record. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, that's good.
Up until this last weekend, you were on like a 7-game win streak. How does that help the girls leading into this conference tournament?
Well, I talked about how we struggled a little bit for our first couple of conference series, and then with the 14 home games at home, we really talked about after Viterbo and Bellevue, protecting your turf. Like, I felt we weren't coming out with a lot of excitement and being able to, you have an opportunity to play at home. And like I said, in the game of softball, we don't get that opportunity a lot just because of weather and stuff like that. So we just talked about really protecting our turf. And we got a couple wins here, we got a couple wins there, and they started to buy in and feel the energy and the excitement and realize like, okay, this can happen.
Yeah.
So it was good to get some wins in a row, but there's again not taking anything away from what we've done thus far. I think there's more that still left to do, and we could have done better or should have done better.
Yeah, well, the opening round of the tournament, the softball championship, is against Waldorf, that team you talked about. You played at the very beginning of the season. So what's the game plan heading into that and heading into the tournament, as you look at the bracket and look at where things can go?
I think with our tournament, and it's the same every year. Anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody starts with the 0-0 record. Waldorf, they hit the ball. They got some big hitters. And we just, as our pitchers, need to keep them off balance, and we have to play defense. I don't think I would put our pitchers up to their pitchers any day. I think we can, get some runs across the board. We can capitalize on their mistakes if they happen to make them.
Yeah.
But, our pitchers, with any team, everybody's seen everybody 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Right.
That's a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, our job as a coaching staff is just to really evaluate how we need to pitch to each batter. And we don't need a strikeout every single time. We're going to give up hits. Our pitchers are going to give up hits. We just have to move our defense in right position, make sure our pitchers hit their spots, throw the right pitch, get us a ground ball or fly ball, and get out of an inning.
That's right. Yeah, well,
Simple.
You kind of mentioned, across a few questions that you had 14 games in a row at home, and you had, every game that was supposed to be played at home, you were able to, which is almost a rarity for the season because of the weather. So, talk about what that did for the girls. You mentioned, they got to sleep in their own bed, but just having a home crowd and being able to play at home, what does that do for the team?
I think it's obviously huge. We're not used to that because last season, we have pretty much, a lot of returners.
Yeah.
And last season we played 4 games at home.
Right.
So that's a big difference when you go from 4 to 14. So I think, it was just a less stress. When you're traveling, you have professors, you're missing class a lot more, things like that. And you play at home, even in the middle of the week, you're still going to class, the first couple hours of the day before you walk out to the field. So I think just the stresses of school and stuff was able, and the pressures, they were able to maintain that a little more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
So if someone were to go to a softball game, they would hear the girls interacting with each other, and sometimes those are some funny interactions. But do you have a favorite cheer that the softball girls sing?
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite one, but there are some that stick in my head. Or if it's often that if we're on the third base side and they start a cheer and maybe somebody will start it and the others aren't paying attention, and then I'll chime in and finish it. And I think a good one they came up with Abby Brooks for nurse of the year. And there's a lot that I think teams look at us and are like, what is going on? When we actually were in Arizona, and a couple of those days that we were rained out, we were in the vans driving. We went up to Phoenix to watch a Diamondbacks spring training game. And the way back, all you could hear is they're Googling like 8 and under cheers. So it's like, when you go from 8 and under cheers to college cheers, college cheers are more just like rattling and talking.
Yeah.
And 8 and under, they talk about like, hey, first baseman, you wear dirty socks or stuff like that. So, all of a sudden they come out with all these cheers, and I think, it's fun. They're a goofy bunch, and, I wouldn't say I have a favorite, but I do enjoy them.
Yeah. Well, you've been coaching here for 10 years as the head coach. I'm sure you've had a lot of cheers along the way there. But if you could describe the past decade as a coach, how would you describe it?
Oh, that's a good question. It's gone by fast. When I always say I came to Dickinson State as a player, and I was only going to be here for 2 years, and when you really look at it, 14 years later and 10 years as a head coach, we've had our ups and downs. If you look, some of our highs and some of our lows, we've hit really, really low to begin with, and we climbed back and we got back to the top, and now we're kind of, in the middle where we need to, rise above and get back to the top. But it's been great. We've seen a lot of kids in and out of this program, a lot of kids, 4-year kids, 2-year kids, 3-year kids, whatever they are. And there's been kids that have come here and thought, Dickinson State was the place for them, and unfortunately it's not.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more that come and leave here with a lot of good memories that give me as a coach, obviously a lot of good memories, and a lot of the reason why I'm still here is, to give those opportunities to the athletes. But it's been nothing but great. Like I said, I've taken the highs and the lows, and just embraced them, and try to get better from our lows, and just try to remember our highs.
Yeah. Well, there's 7 seniors this year on the team. They make up over half of the team, which is incredible. That's kind of crazy. You're going to be filling quite the team next year, but we're going to do something kind of interesting. We're going to have you describe each player, each senior, in one word or a couple words. We'll give you a couple words. So as we say each name, we're going to have you describe them for us. Okay.
Right.
So we're going to start with Jordan. How would you describe Jordan?
Jordan Minky. Well, Jordan Minky likes to say "my bad" often, and that's my least favorite thing. I know it's your bad, but Jordan Minky, my bad.
My bad. Okay. Sonia.
Oh, Sonia, she's an airhead.
Okay.
She's an airhead.
An air-
All right.
Okay. You can go ahead.
Andrea?
Andy Rodriguez, passionate.
Okay. Abby?
There's a lot to describe Abby, but I would say, off the top of my head, Nurse of the Year
Nurse of the year. Yeah.
a good
And senior athlete of the year.
and
Yeah.
Senior Athlete.
Kayla.
Kayla, attitude, positive and negative sometimes.
Claire?
Oh, Claire, catch a ball.
Okay. And Whitney.
Whitney, fun. Whitney likes to have a lot of fun. She gets a lot of the cheers going.
Good. And if you could describe this group and what they mean to the team, how would you describe them?
All of them bring something different. Like I talked the other day, they've some have been here for 3 years, some have been here for 2,
Yeah.
some have been for 4, and that's a tough feat, really, when I think about it. To play college softball for 4 years.
Yeah.
The grind, and when we talk about our schedule, I think after last season a lot. Had the pressures of not being in classes every day, and the stresses of maybe seeing their academics fall or having to put in that extra work. And these kids really grinded it out.
Yeah.
And they've stuck out through it. They've been part of a 500 team, and they've been part of a national tournament team.
Yep.
So going into this last what we hope isn't our last weekend, we just hope that they give everything that they have given us all year. All 3 years, their whole careers, and make a statement and go out on top.
Yeah.
Abby is not only really successful in the classroom, she also was just named the Senior Female Athlete of the Year. So when you look at that, what does that say, A, about Abby, but B, about the team and about our program?
Abby is, I don't know any other word besides, a great kid. She came here from Northern California. She wasn't highly recruited out of high school, and she's just put in the time.
Yeah.
The time. She's pitched behind some, All-American pitchers here, and she's always given everything and embraced every role she's had. The last couple years, not only is her pitching, she started hitting for us, and if you ever watch Abby hit, she takes the biggest hack I've ever seen anybody take, and a third of the time she gets into one.
Yeah.
And and I think it was this season she hit her first home run, and she didn't even know it was over the fence, and she just was all smiles and was running around third base, still asking me if it went over the fence, and it was down in Arizona, and her parents were there, so it was just
awesome.
really exciting moment for her because a lot of pitchers don't hit, and
Yeah.
and so she just gives everything you have, and she's totally deserving over the course of her 4-year career here, and managing softball as a college athlete, nursing major, Nurse of the Year,
Yeah.
and plus she works at Evergreen, so she has a lot on her plate, and
Yeah.
she manages it, and she does everything we ask her to do. So
Yeah.
nobody else I would rather give that award to.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you have Abby, and then you have a couple of girls who have gotten the Conference Player of the Week, I believe, the Pitcher of the Week. With all of those things, you said there's been some solo performances, but heading into the tournament, how is it, or what's it going to take to get that team really to just gel and reach their potential?
I wish I had an answer.
Ask the girls, I guess.
Yeah, some days I search for the same thing, but the team, they know what we have individually, like I keep saying, and it's just a matter of us clicking on all cylinders. We talk our offense, our defense, and our pitching. Last weekend, Jaya had 2 unbelievable pitching performances, and she walks out of the weekend 0-2. And it's just a matter of 1 run here, 1 run there. We've had runners in scoring position, just executing those things. And again, hopefully going into this weekend, they just realize we have nothing to lose.
Yep.
We absolutely have nothing to lose, and we have to just go out again. And I've said it all year: play our game. We can't worry about what the other team does, what the other team has. We can't worry about the umpires. We can't worry about the weather, the fans, where we're at, any of that.
Yeah.
We just have to go. We always say, keep our focus inside the lines for 7 innings. And 1 game at a time, 1 inning at a time. If we go win every single inning, we'll be all right. And at the end of the game, if we win more innings than the other team, we'll still be all right.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
like going into it, we have nothing to lose, and I just hope they give us everything they have, leave it out on the field. Don't say, oh, I wish I should have, could have, would have, dove for that ball, or swung at that pitch, or didn't swing at that pitch. Just kind of having no regrets. And we've kind of had a saying the last couple of weeks. Tyler Dewin came in and talked to the team, and his was, young, dumb, and broke. You're young, you're dumb, and you're broke. You have to go out there and give everything you have to get paid.
Yeah.
And getting paid is the end result of the game.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can go in with that mindset and have some fun and have some success.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Good luck this weekend. Thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure to have you on, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you in the next years, obviously.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We'll be back right after this. So getting a scholarship from the Touchdown Club, the Booster Club, and the school really gave me an appreciation for Dickinson State and the people who have been through Dickinson State and who will come through DSU. It's given me appreciation and just love for this school and this community, and it's helped me realize that I want to give back to programs that help me get through college as well. Scholarships are so important to DSU and its community because they bring in athletes from all over the country, the best athletes that we can get to improve our sports team and to improve Dickinson State University. So the Heritage Foundation and the Touchdown Club and the Booster Club, they're all working together to create scholarships and opportunities for students, whether they're from North Dakota, Dickinson, or all across the country. We want students to come here and have a great experience and do well in athletics. Well, welcome back to Hawk Talk. We have a guest on the show who's been very busy the past couple of months and has some exciting news. Go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you have done at DSU.
Jamal Liggins, track and football athlete. These past few months I've been training in Texas and in Ohio, getting ready for the draft and my pro day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was blessed enough to get picked up by the Eagles.
Yeah.
Late Saturday, so that was really exciting. I'm excited to get out there. I travel out to Philly on May 9th.
Yeah.
So then I'll really start to get going.
Yeah. Awesome. So you're an undrafted free agent. You got picked up by the Eagles. What does that mean for for you? What does that mean?
It just means I have the opportunity to compete for a job with all the fellow athletes and stuff like that. And the only difference between like some guys get invited, and the only difference between getting invited and getting picked up as a free agent is I'm under contract initially, so I have a little more incentive, I guess you want to say.
Yeah.
And the guys who are just invited, they come out there and they get the same shot as me, but they just won't have the guaranteed money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then just so rookie minicamp, we'd all be there and competing for the same spots, just the young guys, no older people.
Yeah.
And then I think that's a 3-day event, I believe. Yeah. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We get out there and we really just get after it and just try to work us into the field of being a professional athlete.
Yeah. Right.
So let's look back a little bit at your journey to where you got here. So could you tell us a little bit, like, when did you start playing football? When did you realize football was something you wanted to pursue? That kind of journey to where you are.
My first time playing like organized football. Everyone plays at recess and stuff like that. My first time playing organized football was a 7th grader, and then obviously I fell in love with it right away. It's a tough sport not to, but I really started like getting the passion for it and the drive, because I had my struggles. Just because like when I was a sophomore in high school, freshman, going up and all that stuff, I really didn't become like athletic and like skilled. I wasn't like gifted in the sport like that. And so like my junior year of high school, I started to develop a little more. And then even then, after that, coming into college, like coaches told me like there's a chance I could pursue it, but I was just like really, like how could I, So I didn't really fully commit into it. And I would say my summer of my sophomore year in college, it just hit me. I was like, this is something like I want to do, something like that I really want to pursue.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just changed in my mindset, which is how I'm going to carry myself, how I'm going to do things. Because I always worked hard and stuff like that, but just some of that small things comes with the mental. So that's when this really like hit me, like this is what I'm going to do. And then junior year of football, I got All-American. Sophomore and senior year, I got All-American as well. And then that started off when I first got sophomore. As a sophomore, I got All-American for track, and that's when I realized like I could really hold myself to this standard, and this is something I can always be at, the level. And I just really like tried to walk and carry myself in that manner.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of excitement around DSU and the Dickinson community. I'm sure you've seen that obviously, but what does it mean to you to be getting this opportunity, to for yourself and to represent, this community as well?
It feels great. I'm honored by it completely. Just the support I've had from the community, from family, friends, just the text. Like you wouldn't believe how many guys have texted me, just congratulating me all over social media, stuff like that. So it's really huge to get that back, because like I've been on the road a lot since January. I've only been back to Dickinson for a week, so like it was tough, like watching all the Blue Hawks do their things, and I was like, I think I'm a Blue Hawk, but like it's just tough because I've been gone for so long, and then taking the school semester off, like it just got tough. Like I felt like I was up by myself at some points, and then constantly I would get reminders from guys like, hey, we're rooting for you. Yeah. Good luck at pro day, or like when you're coming back, can't wait for you to get back. Just things like that really felt good. And then for me to get that call Saturday, then have my phone blowing up with all the Blue Hawks supporters and stuff like that, and my friends and like Dickinson, guys who can still consider me as a Blue Hawk and a friend. Yeah. So that was really nice, and like I just felt so good coming back here, and like you can almost feel it like when I talk to people, like the excitement, the genuine excitement for it.
Yeah. Before the draft, like you said, you were down in Texas working out, and then you went to the NDSU Pro Day. So can you just tell us a little bit about that experience, what that was like?
Also another huge experience to be out there with such a well-known program. They have done great things over the years, and they will continue to do great things. So for me to get invited to that by those guys, it was an honor to be out there with Kane as well, another Blue Hawk. Right. That was really cool because they didn't really want us out there, truthfully. So for them to change their mind and actually get us out there, it was nice. And then when I seen Kane, like it just all like came back to me, like just the Blue Hawk stuff, because I've been gone for so long, like I said. And so it really felt good to see Kane, another Blue Hawk, and then for us both to be out there repping the blue. It felt really good, and we both did really well. And then we did a great job representing our school. Yeah. At no point did I ever feel like we were out of place. Yeah. So that was really cool like that, because I know Dickinson and NIA, we all got talent, and sometimes we get looked down on. Yeah. And so to be out there with those guys and making some of them look bad, it felt real nice.
That's right. Yeah. Well, you mentioned that All-American in track, and how you basically had to take this semester off from school and for track. So how hard was it to forego this senior season of track in order to pursue this opportunity and this dream?
It was extremely hard, truthfully. Just something like I've always wanted to take this next step in football, but I didn't realize how much of a sacrifice I would have to take to track. I thought there was a way I could. Right. Like the whole time I was trying to think of ways where I could do it and not actually take the semester off. But it's just like in those circumstances, I figured I'd be able to train as intensely as I did and still like be in school like that. So that was tough. And then on top of that, not being able to do track with the guys. It was tough, it was my senior season. Yep. Got 5th place last year at Nationals. Like I was coming back, like I was expecting to do some great things. You know, I was pushing myself to win it, and then for me not to be able to have it, it was tough. But it just kept me going. I was just like, I gave up so much already. Like, I gotta make this really worth it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't take track and then I didn't do this, like, I wouldn't have been able to come back to track. So
Yeah.
like, I really just had to like really sell out and just do it all.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, the way things worked, I don't regret it at all, but
Yeah.
it is tough. And even like now, as the guys, I'll be here for the first home meet, first time watching the track team when I'm not on the track
Right.
team. So that's going to be tough, but I plan to help out and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So
Yeah. Well, we asked the Twitter community if they had any questions for you, so we're going to present some questions that people have asked us over Twitter. Jim Dahl has a question. How in the world did you make the interception versus presentation? That was just an insane play. So I know you explained it when we had you on the first time, but go ahead and explain it again if you can.
It was just after the play. the play was going, it was developing, and he kind of broke, and then I was just, for a second, he truly had me, and then I seen the ball come up, and I was just gonna make a play on the ball, and then since I was in such a good position, I was figuring like try to like grab it or something
Yeah.
like that, and then when I grabbed it, it's like stuck to my hand. I was just like, I like looked at it, and I was like, I think I caught it,
Yeah.
and then I like pulled it down and I looked at it like. I was like, I think I
caught
really
that.
caught it.
That's right.
So, and then after that, I just fell down, and like to hear the roar of the crowd, it was incredible. It felt
Yeah.
really good. And like looking back on it, like it was a great play clearly, but like my best part, just turning the volume on and watching the eruption from
Yeah,
the crowd.
right.
And so that was really exciting. And
Yeah.
then to do that in a home game on like second game of the year, when we still had an incredible buzz, it was nice to do that for all the fans. And I really feel like it set the momentum for my season, the defense, and the team expectations.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next question from Mr. Quarterback himself. Do you really think you're that good at 2K? Last time I played you, you were this emoji.
Oh no.
Trash emoji.
See, everything about that is
Aiden, man.
false. Everything about that is false. We used to live together at my old house at the 562, and we used to keep track of all the wins, and I believe I was like 89 and 15. So I used to make these guys look bad.
Yeah.
Like they're just on Twitter,
they're
just trying to
they're
look
trying
good.
to, yeah, they're
in front
trying
of
to look
everyone.
good. Yeah.
Right.
But like I told Hayden, I'm here till May 9th. Hit me out. You can get it if you want it.
Yeah. Well, last question here from Twitter. Bill Shetler, I believe he is probably a teacher or a coach for you. He said, "Have Jay tell the story about winning the state triple jump title your senior year. It's a really good one. So, explain this story."
I was a senior, and I was expecting to win it, but there was a guy who was I think my best at that time was like 44.5, 44.8, and the guy in second place was 44.5. So like he was carrying himself. He was feeling pretty good, you know. And then I think he and I was above everyone else by like 2 feet or so. So it was either him or I. And then my coach gets my mark, and he's like, you're a little back. You're back like 2 or 3 inches. So we're gonna have you he said, we're going to have you come up a little bit. Because I was like back like 5 inches. And he's like, we're going to have you come up a little bit. And I was like, honestly, coach, I'm feeling good. I'm going to go back like 8 inches. And I'm going to win at this first jump.
Let's go.
And then my first jump, I jumped like 46.5 and that was the state
my
record
word.
and the bowl record.
Yeah.
That was my PR by 2 feet.
Wow.
And then I ended up winning by 2 feet.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and I always just think it's a crazy story because like I was confident clearly, but like I was just kind of talking trash.
Yeah,
You know, I was just talking,
Yeah.
and then like I just thought it's funny because my coach told me like come up because you're not gonna be on the board, and I was like I'm gonna go back,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just do it, and then like to actually do it and
wow.
like to win it, and then like in that manner. It was really nice, and like my brother had the record previously,
Yes,
so he graduated, and before they could even
Swiped
put
it
it up,
from him.
I took it from him. So that was a really cool experience with the whole ordeal, and like
Yeah.
that was a nice way to end my senior track season.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So you said you leave May 9th to go to Philadelphia. Do you have anything before you go to camp that you have to do to get ready for that?
Nothing like obligated by the team or anything like that, but of course I'm going to be still working out and training. I believe Stan's going to do some DB work with me when he finds time, and then I'll probably perform with the track team as well, because they did a good job of keeping me in shape when I was here last time.
Yeah.
I felt really good in Ohio. Hardly ever got tired, so
Yeah.
I felt that was a good method, and I think it got me right. And I'll
Yeah.
keep doing stretches and stuff like that to stay loose. But honestly, I feel ready to go. I'm
Yeah.
excited to get out there and lace up and
Yeah.
put my Eagles helmet on.
Come on. Well, I mean, if you look on the internet, I think I typed in Jay Liggins, and the first thing was like Jay Liggins NFL. So it's, I mean, you look on the internet, you look on Twitter, there's quite a buzz and there's quite an excitement looking from the outside in, and I'm sure you know it more than anyone feeling it from the inside out. So talk about how you've handled that. I'm not going to say pressure, but it kind of is a pressure, and there's a lot of people probably trying to reach out to you. So how are you handling all that and rolling with it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would definitely say it's like a pressure. But I feel like one thing that's nice is not pressure coming from the city or anything like that. And I just feel like it's like tough just because everyone's congratulating me on this and that, but just like I haven't officially made the team yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing like does apply a little pressure.
Yeah.
Like everyone's talking about when can I get your jersey and like when is the game, can I get tickets? And it's just like I'm not even sure I'm gonna get tickets. So like that's a whole tough thing. But I'm confident in myself. I think I'll be around for a while.
Yeah.
And then with everyone hitting me up, it was definitely overwhelming. I think I had like 140 text messages and like 100 Instagram messages and Facebook still blowing up. So like it was definitely like a lot going on. But I tried to do my best to contact everyone who contacted me because it felt good to have that kind of support. And even like fans would contact me like, we're so happy to have you a part of the nest and things
That's
like
awesome.
that.
Oh, that's cool.
And then so that was really cool just to have some excitement from the people and stuff like that. And I like searched my name too because I want to see what the bad stuff was being said too. And it was just cool to see just mostly good things being said by the fans. Like people being like, "Oh, we got them, guys!" Like just stuff like that, stuff I wouldn't expect from a small school guy like myself. I figured most guys, but who is this guy? Like we wasted this money. But everyone seems really excited, and that's just not coming from Dickinson, but like all over the place. So it's a pretty cool experience.
Awesome. It's really awesome.
What was going through your mind this weekend as you were waiting, and what happened when you got that call?
Going through my mind, like it started on Thursday, and like I figured I wasn't gonna be a first round pick. So that day it wasn't like, I was honestly a little more nervous that day just for the fact that like it's here, all that waiting, all the pro day, all the training, all this, like it's here right now, and it's gonna be 3 days, and like I could be flying back to Dickinson, like getting like good almost J, like different kinds of talks. So that first day I was pretty nervous and just like not expecting, like not sure what to happen. Then Friday came after watching a little bit more. I got a little more positive about it. I was like, I really think I got a shot, like, and just like sleeping on, and I was just like, I think he's gonna come. And then Saturday, the draft started at like noon, and they ended at like 7. So like I was watching it, just like wow, like this is gonna be a long day, and then I had to take a break from it just because I needed to like relax. Yeah. And then like during my break around like 6:50, I was just chilling, and then my agent comes down. He goes, the Eagles and I are negotiating a contract, and I'm just like, trying not to get too excited because like it's negotiating, like like it could just not work out, because like I got contacted by a lot of teams and like things that I got contacted like 15 teams before. Then Saturday comes, like I got contacted by 3 teams, so like I try not to get too high on it. And then he comes back down. He goes, the Rams are calling. The Eagles and the Rams are bidding for you right now. And I'm just like, like wow, like
whoa,
this, like okay. Then the 49ers call, and they were just like, we want you, but we don't want to like give you anything guaranteed or anything like that. So I was just like, forget those guys. No, but I was honored to even like be questioned by that. But like it helped me make my decision a little easier. Then he asked me, it was just like, so which team do you want to go to? The final offers are in, and this is this, and this is that. And then it was just weird because it was the biggest decision in my life, and like I was expecting, him as my agent to be like, okay, this is what we think is best for you. But like he asked me, he just stood there on the phone like, what are you gonna do?
Whoa.
And so it was kind of crazy for it to like solely be my decision. And then I chose the Eagles because they wanted me to play safety primarily, and offer me a little more money and stuff like that. So it was just cool to like actually have that decision in my own hands. It was nerve-wracking just because I was expecting like him and my representatives to kind of like lean a certain way, Yeah. But I think I made the right decision, and I have no regrets on it. I'm completely blessed and humbled to be even in that position where like I got to decide which team I would like to go to.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, you were a part of, while you're at DSU, you were part of the first ever 4-time, conference champion. You're an All-American. You just had a really incredible career here at DSU, both in track and football and academically. And it's awesome to look back and see everything that's happened. But if you could look back on the time, how would you describe your time here at DSU?
I would say it was great. The people I met, like I was saying earlier, everyone's been like true friends, and like I feel like I can contact any of them anytime. So it's been really nice. Then to have been put in the situation I have between my football coach and track coach to succeed is a blessing as well. Like to have the coach have faith in me to really help me make my like standout plays like that. You know, things to put myself above like other teams and other players, the things we've done. Like I feel like it's just a blessing. And the guys we brought in, I think Stan did a great job recruiting. You just look at the senior class and our junior class, from the guys who did redshirt and the guys who didn't redshirt. I just feel like even in those classes have a lot of talent, and I think we because before we signed, they were like 1 in
1 in 10.
yeah, 1 in 10. I think. Then the year before that, they were like 2 in 10 or something. Like, so it just like shows the kind of things that Stan brought what Stan brought to the table when he took the head coaching job, and the guys he brought in. I feel like we came in and then we kind of changed. We brought back the old Blue Hawk tradition of things, the way things were done. And then, so I feel like I'm honored to be a part of that, you know, blessed. And like when they bring up like, oh, the accomplishment, you know, 20-0 at home and stuff like that. Like, you know, like Seth and I are part of that, and like our senior class was a part of that. So that's like, it's really like nice and like humbling, like to like look back on it, especially with a school that has so much great tradition, to be a part of it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, incredible. One last thing, if you wanted to say anything to the DSU community or the Dickinson community, or really anyone, you know, what would you say?
I'd say thank you guys for supporting me as much as you have. It's been great. I love it. I love coming back. You know, I've been traveling a lot, and every time I come on the horizon and see Dickinson, I get a little more excited, and I get excited to see everyone, and even people I barely talk to. It's still nice to just come and like see them again. Their friendly face, always something positive to say. So it's truly nice. And Hayden, you're awful. At TK, Hunter Moore, you're bad. Reese, you're bad. And I'll play everyone in town. So yeah, but no, seriously, I enjoy being back, and I like it. And it's tough always being gone, but when I'm here the little time I have, I try to see a lot of people, and people try to reach out to me and see me. So that's really nice. I feel loved by the city, and I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back as always. You know, this next week's going to be fun to see you interacting with the whole town, interacting with all the friends again. But you know, as you transition into, you know, from one bird to another bird in the NFL, it's going to be really awesome, and we're excited for you. We're, you know, praying for you, believing for you, and believing great things. So good luck, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. And we'll be back right after this recapping, you know, all the stuff that's been going on.
If I didn't have scholarships from DSU, then I wouldn't be playing football, and I wouldn't be making the friends that I have made up here, which will go on for a lifetime. And if I didn't have these scholarships, then I probably wouldn't know how nice North Dakota is and the people are here. The interaction that we have between community members and the Touchdown Club and football players is very important. We are able to show them who we are and where their money's going. In fact, giving everybody a chance to sit and talk with each other and just being able to create friendships. We'll see members in the community and they'll recognize us as football players, and they'll say, "Good job during your game," or "Go get them this week." And it's really an upbuilding, uplifting environment to be in.
Well, welcome back. We are gonna just recap all the excitement that's happened. You know, Jay's excitement. That was really fun to talk about. We're gonna talk about some things that are happening here locally a little bit. The first thing is that baseball is coming back. Baseball's coming back to the DSU campus. I think it's projected for 2021 season, the spring of 2021. But hey, it's back, and we're excited for that. And it's also coming with JV teams for, I believe, men's and women's basketball and volleyball. But those things are all in the works. They're, you know, figuring that stuff out. But hey, it's back.
Pretty exciting for
Very
DSU
exciting.
to bring that stuff back.
Very exciting.
We had on the show last week Jace Steyer, who is a golf athlete, and the women's golf team took second place this last weekend.
Yeah,
So
in the conference.
yeah,
That's
congratulations
that's
to
really
them.
awesome. Yeah.
Really awesome.
Great job. Track, they have 2 more weeks before the conference meet, and this weekend is the last chance meet on Saturday. So if you are around and you want to come check out DSU track, it's happening Saturday, I believe, starting at 11 or 11:30.
Softball, we had Coach Fleury on the show today. They are heading into their conference tournament this weekend, so good luck to them. We are excited to hear results from that.
Yeah, and then the last thing on our list is the Blue Hawk Stampede for rodeo. That's happening Friday. I've heard 1 and 7, and Saturday 1 and 7. I'm not really sure how that works, but Blue Hawk Stampede Rodeo is happening this weekend. That's like their only home rodeo. So if you get a chance to go and check those guys out, please do that.
You can get tickets at the DSU Heritage Foundation, or students can get in for free with their student ID at the gate.
Yeah. As always, thank you for watching. We're excited as this semester winds down. We probably only have 1 or 2 more episodes, but we'll keep on trucking along, and we'll be back next year, obviously. But until next week, Hawks are up.